Midnight pressed down on the fields of Mohi. Fires burned low. The river mist clung to armor and fear. Arrows hissed out of the dark. Shields up. A Hungarian captain shouted, "Form ranks. Hold the bridge. They're everywhere." A soldier cried, "I can't see them. Stand firm." The captain roared, "They are men, not demons." Another wave struck. Wood split. Horses screamed. "Captain, the camp is burning. Impossible." The river guards our flank. It does not guard the sky. A crossbowman yelled as arrows rained again. Across the field, in the shadows, a calm voice spoke. "Release the next volley," Subutai said quietly. A Mongol officer bowed. "The Hungarians are tightening around the bridge." "Good," Subutai replied. "Pressure the front. Strike the rear. Leave them one road." "One road, General?" "Yes," Subutai said. Men run toward Hope, back in the Hungarian camp. They're inside the wagons. A knight shouted, "We are surrounded." "No." The captain barked. The bridge is still open. A thunder of hooves answered him. They crossed upstream. A soldier gasped. Silence fell for one breath. Then the Mongol horns sounded. On a distant ridge, Subutai watched the chaos. "Now," he said, "close the road." Behind him, riders turned into the darkness. Europe stood on the edge, and it did not yet know it. Church bells rang across Europe. Lords argued in stone halls. Borders shifted with every season. In Esztergom, a Hungarian noble slammed his fist on the table. "Austria eyes our lands again." Another scoffed. "Let them try. Our knights are strong." A bishop raised his hand. "Strength means nothing if we stand alone." "We are not alone." The noble snapped. "Poland stands with us." A messenger rushed in, breathless. "My lord." Riders from the east report whole cities burned. Horsemen, endless horsemen, far away, beneath a wide sky, Mongol banners moved like a dark tide. A general bowed before Subutai. "Northern China is broken. The western steppes are ours." Subutai studied a rough map. "And the princes of Rus? They fight each other." "Good," Subutai said. When men quarrel, they do not see the storm. Back in Hungary, these tales are rumors, a knight insisted. "No army crosses the world." The bishop answered softly, "They already have." The king's advisor stepped forward. "Hungary guards Europe's gate. If the east falls, we stand alone." A noble laughed. "Steppe riders cannot breach stone." A guard interrupted. "Envoys from Poland bring word. Krakow has fallen." Silence filled the chamber. In the Mongol camp, an officer asked, "Will the Western kings unite?" Subutai shook his head. "They fear each other more than us." He pointed west. "We strike fast. We divide them. We crush the shield before it hardens." Across Europe, lords sharpened swords for rival neighbors. From the east, the empire advanced without pause. Smoke drifted over the ruins of a Russian town. Walls lay broken. The gates hung open. A survivor knelt before a Hungarian lord. They came at dawn. "How many?" the lord demanded. "I could not count them." 10,000? More. In the Mongol camp, Subutai faced his commanders. "Speed is our weapon," a captain nodded. "Our riders change horses every hour." "We strike," Subutai said. "We pull back. When they chase, we turn." A young officer asked, "And their heavy knights?" "Slow," Subutai replied. "Proud. Easy to draw out. Back in Hungary, they burn cities to ash," the survivor whispered. "They spare no walls," a knight scoffed. "Stone holds against arrows," the survivor shook his head. "They do not stop at arrows. They surround. They wait. They starve you." In the east, hooves thundered across open plains. Mongol scout rode in. Another Rus prince gathers men. Subutai did not look up. "Let him gather. He thinks we retreat." "We want him to think that," Subutai said. "Spread wide. Hide our center. When he advances, close the wings." Steel flashed. Arrows darkened the sky. The Rus line shattered. In a Hungarian hall, a messenger burst in. "Kiev has fallen." Silence gripped the room. A bishop spoke slowly. "If Kiev can fall, who stands next?" Far away, Subutai mounted his horse. "Fear rides before us," he said. His army moved west, and every hoofbeat carried the sound of something unstoppable. Wind swept across the steppe. Subutai stood over a rough map drawn in the dirt. A young officer asked, "General, which city do we strike first?" Subutai did not look up. "We do not strike cities, we break armies. You were not born noble," the officer said carefully, "yet you command them all." Subutai's voice stayed calm. "On this field, skill decides rank," another commander stepped forward. "You have marched from China to the west. You have never lost." Subutai placed a stone on the map. "Because I do not fight blind," he pointed to a river line. "Water slows heavy nights," he marked a forest. "Trees hide movement," he drew a circle. "Fear traps men faster than walls." In a distant Hungarian court, a noble scoffed. "Who leads these riders?" "A general named Subutai," a scout replied. "A king?" "No." "A prince?" "No." "A soldier." The noble waved his hand. "Then he bleeds like any man." Back on the step, an officer asked, "Shall we charge when we see them?" Subutai shook his head. "We make them choose ground we control, and if they refuse, they will not," Subutai said. "Pride moves them." He erased part of the map with his boot. "We split our forces. We appear weak. They advance. We close from three sides." The officers exchanged glances. "This is not chaos," Subutai said quietly. "It is design." He looked west. "Prepare the rivers," he ordered. Cold mist rolled over the Sajó River. The Hungarian camp stretched wide near Mohi. Wagons formed a barrier. Fires burned through the night. King Béla IV stood before his commanders. "We outnumber them." A knight nodded. "Our camp is fortified. The bridge is narrow. They cannot break us." Another lord added, "Let them attack." "We crush them at the crossing." A scout rushed in. Mongol riders gather east of the river. Béla lifted his chin. "Good. They must cross to fight." Across the water, Subutai studied the ground. "The king believes the bridge is the battle," an officer said. "It is not," Subutai replied. He pointed along the riverbank. "One force attacks the bridge at dawn." "And the rest?" the officer asked. Subutai's finger moved south. "Another crosses at the shallow ford in darkness." A captain frowned. "That divides us." "It surrounds them," Subutai corrected. Back in the Hungarian camp, "We hold the bridge," a knight insisted. "They break against us," a veteran captain spoke low. "And if they cross elsewhere?" "There is no elsewhere," the knight snapped. Silence hung. On the eastern bank, Subutai addressed his generals. "Strike the bridge hard. Make noise. Make fear." "And when their army rushes forward?" one asked. "The second force strikes their flank," Subutai said. "The third closes behind." He looked at the river. "Leave one gap open." "For escape?" a young officer questioned. "For hope," Subutai answered. Torches flickered in the dark. Horses stamped quietly. Dawn waited just beyond the mist. Night covered the Sajó River. Fires burned low in the Hungarian camp. Armor clinked in the dark. A young soldier whispered, "Do you hear horses?" His friend shook his head. "Only the river." Across the water, Mongol scouts crawled through wet grass. One scout returned and bowed. "The bridge is guarded, but they grow careless." Subutai listened. "How many torches?" "Few. Their lines are loose." Subutai nodded once. "We strike before dawn," an officer asked. "Full attack?" "No," Subutai said. "A sharp blow. Wake them. Confuse them." Back in the Hungarian camp, a guard stiffened. Movement on the bridge. Suddenly, arrows cut through the dark. "Shields," a captain shouted. To the bridge, steel rang. Men stumbled from sleep. "They attack already?" A knight barked. "It is only a raid," another insisted. On the eastern bank, a Mongol captain asked, "Shall we press harder?" "Not yet," Subutai replied. "Let them think this is the battle." Screams echoed over the river. Torches flared. Orders clashed in the night. "They test us," a Hungarian lord growled. "We hold until morning," a veteran captain muttered, "or they test our fear." The arrows stopped as suddenly as they began. Silence spread. A Hungarian soldier breathed hard. "Is it over?" On the ridge, Subutai mounted his horse. "It begins," he said quietly. Black sky, cold air, then the horns. Forward, a Mongol captain shouted, "Take the bridge." Arrows burst from the dark. Shields up. A Hungarian commander roared. Hold the crossing. Wood cracked. Men fell. Push them back. A knight yelled. They cannot pass. On the eastern bank, Subutai watched the clash. Keep the pressure, he ordered. Make them believe this is our main force. An officer bowed. And the southern column? Cross now, Subutai said. Quiet. Fast. Downriver, Mongol riders slipped into the shallow ford. Water splashed low against horse flanks. At the bridge, steel rang hard. They are breaking. A Hungarian knight shouted. Drive them into the river, charge, another cried. Heavy cavalry thundered forward. Subutai's eyes narrowed. There. Pride. A messenger galloped in. The southern forces crossed. Good, Subutai replied. Move behind their camp. On the bridge, a Hungarian captain swung his sword. They retreat. After them, a veteran grabbed his arm. Wait, it feels wrong. Coward. The knight snapped. They run. The Hungarian charge surged across the bridge. Mongol riders pulled back in perfect order. Loose. A Mongol officer commanded. Arrows turned midair and struck the charging knights. Horses screamed. Armor rang. They fire while riding. A Hungarian soldier gasped. Close with them. The knight shouted. From the south, horns answered. A guard on the camp edge froze. Riders. Behind us. What? A lord barked. They crossed the river. Panic rippled through the tents. Subutai raised his hand. Now close the jaws. Northern units reformed and struck again. Southern riders slammed into the rear. They surround us. A Hungarian captain cried. Form a line. Blah's voice rang out. Stand and fight. Smoke rose. Wagons burned. A soldier shouted. Which way do we face? Every way, another answered. Hooves pounded from three sides. Subutai spoke calmly over the chaos. Leave the western road open. An officer frowned. Why spare them? We do not spare them, Subutai said. We guide them. In the Hungarian camp, men turned toward the open gap. There, a knight yelled. A path. Break through. Blah ordered. The army surged toward the narrow road. Mongol riders waited beyond the smoke. Subutai lowered his hand. Prepare, he said. Smoke drifted across the field. The Hungarians pushed forward. They fall back. A knight shouted, Victory is ours. Drive them to the river. Another cried. Steel clashed. Mongol riders yielded ground. On a distant rise, Subutai watched without emotion. A captain asked, Shall we reinforce the bridge? No, Subutai replied. Wait. Back near the wagons, a Hungarian guard frowned. Do you hear horns? What horns? His commander snapped. From behind the camp, a low thunder rolled. A scout burst through the tents, riders in the rear. Thousands. That is impossible, a lord said. It is happening. The scout yelled. Southern Mongol banners broke through the smoke. Arrows struck into the backs of Hungarian lines. We are attacked from behind. A captain screamed. King Blah turned in shock. Form ranks. Face south. Men spun in confusion. Hold your ground, Blah roared. They cannot be many. On the ridge, Subutai raised 2 fingers. Advance the center, he ordered. Slow, steady, northern units pressed again at the bridge. They returned. A Hungarian knight gasped. From the rear, Mongol cavalry fanned wide. An officer rode beside Subutai. The ring closes. Not yet, Subutai said. Tighten. In the Hungarian camp. Which front do we hold? A soldier cried. All of them. A commander answered. Arrows fell from 2 sides. Horses crashed into wagons. They surround us. Someone shouted. Blah's voice cut through the panic. Break their southern force.